Thank you very much. Thank you. Maybe you caught in that introduction, 19 Emmy nominations, 1 win. So he said it nicely, but I want to thank Dean Reese and everyone at Hussman for this opportunity. I've so enjoyed being part of this school, not only when I was here, but coming back and meeting all of you. And I just want to say congratulations to all of you. What a year you've had. Some of you went to Milan for the Olympics. Some of you went to DC for the Washington Experience class, and all of you went to Franklin Street after the Duke game. Yes. I know, I was there. I was the weird old guy giving high fives to students. You might have seen me. I also want to give a special recognition to all the mothers out there tomorrow, as tomorrow is Mother's Day. Yes. And I'm sure all you moms out there will be spending tomorrow in your ideal way by packing up your graduate and trying to fit a small apartment into a Hyundai Elantra. As wonderful as today is, I know a lot of you are thinking about what comes next. So let me tell you about what came next for me. Like you, I also graduated from Carolina with a degree in broadcast journalism, and the very next day, I went to work as a waiter in a restaurant called Daryl's in Durham. Daryl's was a place that tried way too hard to be fun. Its slogan was, "Put some South in your mouth." I would serve people a drink called the Pink Gator that had like a big plastic alligator on the side, and people would say little jokes to me like, "That thing's not gonna bite me, is it?" No, sir, it's dead. I worked as a waiter for 2 years after graduation. It would be another 5 years until I got my first job writing for television. 7 years total after graduating. This is my way of telling you that just because you have not locked up your ideal job in May of 2026 does not mean you will not have a career. The journey is long and unexpected, and your mission is to stay focused, persistent, and hold on to something that's in short supply right now: hope. I know it's not easy. You're graduating in an uncertain and often angry time. For years, you've been up against an algorithm that wants to divide and enrage you, a culture that mistakes cynicism for pragmatism. But always remember what UNC alum Frank Bruni says: "The world brims with opportunities, its promise greater than its woes." Now, it may not seem like it, but at this stage of your life, you have enormous value. That is true. SNL has been around for 51 years. And the main reason for its longevity is that every August, it renews itself by bringing in a crop of young, talented, optimistic people, and it doesn't pay them very much. And I can promise you right now, there are thousands of other places out there hoping to bring in young, talented, optimistic people like you and not pay them very much. Don't worry, the raises come later, usually. So how do you get there? These commencement speeches usually ask you to forge your own path, spread your wings, find what makes you, you, and other phrases you might hear in a commercial for wireless services. Today, I'm here to say that we've had enough of that. I want to encourage you to join things, meet people, find something you love, and commit. Look, it's never been easier to be alone. I have friends who spend an entire day at work doing Zoom meetings on a laptop 10 feet from their own bed. A Friday night meetup can be playing video games with a few friends, and you never leave your couch. Social media is the opposite of social. It wants to funnel and compartmentalize you. It wants to isolate you from others. It's obvious, but it bears repeating: your phone does not love you back. And I hope, thank you. And I want you to stomp your phones right now. I hope that your generation is the first to break with this culture of isolation, that you'll rebel by actually engaging with people, even people you don't know or agree with, because getting out there and being part of something is often what brings purpose to life. Commitment is a scary word. Some people are so afraid of making the wrong choice that they've imprisoned themselves in the purgatory of making no choice at all. People want to keep their options open. Today, I'm telling you, narrow your options. Committing to something you care about is actually the best way to open up a bunch of new options, options that only happen because you jumped in with both feet into a community of like-minded people. The philosopher Susan Wolf wrote, "A person's life can only be meaningful if she cares fairly deeply about some things, only if she is engaged, gripped, excited, interested, or if she loves something." I love comedy, and when I graduated, I was committed to doing it right away in the finest coffee shops right here in Carborough, and then years later in New York. But that commitment to comedy was not the secret to my success. My success came because I learned how to commit to other people. My wish today is that you get to love something unconditionally at some point in your lives, whether it's a spouse, a partner, a child, or even a pet. I've been blessed to have all of these. The world gets smaller when you find something bigger than yourself. It's that commitment you take on, that love, which will sustain you throughout good times and bad. Not love for a partner, not just love for a partner, but love for a community, for friends, for God if you choose. And if that sounds a bit reactionary, keep in mind, I'm not telling you who to love, just only to love them fully. I'm not asking you to live in a certain community, just embrace the community that you choose. You guys didn't think the SNL writer would be doing a speech about love, did you? Sorry. If you want to know what it was like to work with Connor Story, we can talk after the show. But back to being serious. Writer David Brooks says that one of his favorite observations from psychology is that all of life is a series of daring explorations from a secure base. In order to do great things, people need to start with support of others, a safe and loving community to sustain them. The most enduring legacy at Carolina left me was not from my classes or watching UNC basketball or even doing comedy on student television. It was the people I met, the ones who became lifelong friends. Today, I want you to think about your own friends from the past 4 years. These are the people who will sustain you as you make your journey. Let me give you a few examples of my own. It's August 1989, my first day of college. I'm trying to figure out the mailboxes in my new dorm, Craig, when I meet Michelle. Craig, all right, Craig shout out, yeah. Michelle shows me how to use the mailbox key. Now it's May of 1993. Michelle and I are right here in Carmichael, graduating together. Now it's October 1997. I'm doing stand-up at 11:30 p.m. on a Wednesday in a tiny bar in New York City. There's 6 people in the audience, and Michelle is one of them. After the show, she says, "Well, I thought it was funny." Over 2 decades later, it's 2025, and our whole family is eating Thanksgiving dinner at my apartment in New York. Michelle is sitting in the chair beside my 22-year-old daughter, Lucy. They're friends. Michelle has sustained me, and it all started at Carolina. August 1989, my freshman orientation. UNC brings 2 students, Dave and Andy, to entertain the incoming freshmen for a show in Great Hall. They do a comedy duo act that gets big laughs from the crowd, including me. I look at them and think to myself, I want to meet those guys. I want to do that. It's 1991. Dave, Andy, and I are producers on a student television show called Off the Cuff. For this week's episode, we are acting like pro wrestlers and Jello wrestling for charity in Woollen Gym. That's true, there's video. It's 1995. Me, Dave, Andy, and 2 other my dear friends, Scott and Larry, are in a sketch group driving to New York City in a van. In just one night, we will play at Caroline's Comedy Club, the Comic Strip, and the Comedy Cellar. At the Comic Strip, we get a standing ovation. We leave New York at midnight and drive all the way back to North Carolina. It's 2005. Dave, Andy, and the other friends in that now defunct sketch group have once again driven up from New York to North Carolina. But this time, it's to visit me in my first season as a writer on Saturday Night Live. After the show is over, we all go to the after party and have beers with Seth Meyers and Jason Sudeikis till 4 a.m. Andy tries to tell them about the one time we all Jello wrestled in Woollen Gym. It's February 2026. I'm at the Duke game. Seth Trimble hits a miracle shot with 0.4 seconds left. We all were there. I'm jumping up and down with the person I've taken to the game, Andy. We text Dave. We both go out to Franklin Street. 2 old guys giving high fives to students. Andy and Dave has sustained me, and it all started at Carolina. It's March of 1998. I'm working as a temp in New York and doing stand-up in bars and coffee shops. It's a hard time in my life. I live in a fifth-floor walk-up with 3 other guys, and at night, when I go to sleep, I can hear mice scratching through the walls past my head. That day, my boss for my temp job has asked me to photocopy 90 separate pages from a book she could not take on a trip because she thought it was too heavy. It's lunchtime, and I'm eating Chinese food out of a styrofoam container outdoors when something breaks in me, and I just start to cry. I'm wondering why I'm here. What am I doing? Where is this going? So I call the one person who will make me feel better, Rachel. It began in the summer of 1994. After a show, Andy introduced me to a girl he worked with. We began dating after reconnecting right here in Chapel Hill in '96. In 2000, we get married at Chapel of the Cross Church right here on Franklin Street. And 25 years later, we have 2 college-age kids eating Thanksgiving dinner next to my friend Michelle. But on that day, when I was crying outdoors in the middle of Manhattan, Rachel told me the words I desperately needed to hear. It'll be okay. I'm with you. I believe in you. Rachel sustained me that day and hundreds of other times, and it all started at Carolina. Yeah, not the SNL writer speech you thought, huh? I know many of you are worried about the future, but I have some good news. Help is not only coming, it's already here. It's the people sitting above you here that traveled several hours to come see you in this moment. It's here as the friend who gave you a hug or sent you a text message today to congratulate you. It's here as the professor who is thrilled to see what you will become. These are the relationships that not only will sustain you now, but in the future. And they will do so much more for you than an internship, a high grade, or 1,000 likes on LinkedIn. If you have relationships like this, you've achieved a kind of enduring success already. So I ask you to remember those people today because they will remember you tomorrow. So I wish you all the best. Go Heels, and AI did not write this speech.